Hello everybody, this is Frido Bombardier, and we're live streaming! Yay! Russell owes me money! And speaking of Russell, here's here along with Andre. Yay! Okay. So, this is a very, interesting live stream indeed. I do apologize, there's some sausages here, but yes, we are live streaming. And today, we are playing Train Sim World 2, and here we are at the greatest station in this to the world. It's my station. It's Providence. Yes, sir. I am here at the legendary Providence station, the greatest station in the world. And there is our train as well, which we're going to be driving today, because it is new computer time indeed. Yeah, so after many months of trying to figure out what's gonna happen next, we finally have ourselves the computer, and there's some people walking through me. Okay, do apologize, this is very improvised or whatever. I'm still figuring this out, because there's a new streaming format that I've been used because my computer is a sausage. Well, anyway, enough of that. Let's just go onto our train. But yeah, welcome to Providence, which is my station. Yes, we've been here in real life, and now I'm here in the game. So this is our train for the day, MBTA train, because MBTA is the greatest railway in the history of the world.
Not really.
Yes, we begin. All right. So we're gonna be doing a service from Providence to Boston, and we'll drive some other trains as well. This is just things that okay. I think the stream's working pretty well. Yeah, brand new streaming format.
I'm not sure about the audio because I'm not listening to that, but the frame rate is very good.
All right, just doing that. Okay, so cab light because I can't see anything. All right, forwards. So we're just setting up our train, because Train Sim World is all about setting trains up and then driving them properly. And not like Russell would drive it, because he would do it all wrong. Okay, I'm going to have that off now, because it's going to be loud. I'll turn that back on once we're ready to leave the station. I'll turn that off just for now. Welcome to Train Sim World, and welcome to brand new computer. It is time.
You might want to close that box at the top.
I think I did. Okay, this seems a bit delayed.
Ah, right.
So yeah, welcome. So yeah, I know this is a bit of a weird start stream, but yeah. So welcome to the first ever live stream on my new computer. After a million years, I finally have myself a proper gaming computer for men, not children like Russell. It's for men like me. Haha. Anyway, yeah. Oh yeah. Also, I forgot to mention, I am joined today by Russell and Andre. Who are.
You did not forget to say that.
Oh, okay. But yeah, welcome. So, we are on the greatest rail in the world, the Providence to Boston rush hour route on Train Sim World 2. And really, there is no better way to introduce my new computer than to play Train Sim World and to drive on the greatest DLC in the history of the world! Yeah, so Providence to Boston. Yeah, I can't believe it either, but yes, this DLC is a thing. This DLC is a thing indeed. I'm already running out of things to say, but yeah. So, this is probably the weirdest format I've ever done. One other thing I need to make sure it's not being too blurry. I think actually it's pretty clear right now. I don't actually know. I was doing some testing yesterday, and the stream was it was mostly clear, but it was still a little bit blurry. I think actually I'm not sure if I finally corrected the blurring or if. So I'm having no choice but to view this on my phone, because so what I'm doing here is I'm having to use, so I can't use my secondary monitor for some strange reason, because for some reason my TV screen that I would typically use to do these streams more professionally just doesn't work with my new computer. I have no idea why, that's just how it is. So I'm having to instead use my iPad as my secondary screen, and I'm having to use my phone to actually view the live stream on YouTube itself. And for some reason, nobody has turned up. For some reason, nobody in the chat. I don't know why. This is supposed to be like the greatest, most monumental live stream in the history of the world, and nobody has turned up to it. Well, nobody who isn't. You get the point. Where is it?
5 watching now.
Okay, well, if there's 5 watching, Boys, put something in the chat. Stop being stupid. Alright.
Also, I'm now on my PC, and it does not seem like you have any blurring issues.
Huh, I must have accidentally fixed those. Interesting. Or maybe YouTube just fixed itself from yesterday. I don't know. I tell you what, okay, it does look pretty crispy, so we'll have to just see how this goes. So, okay, I may have to view this back. You know what? I'll view this back later. But from what I can at least view from my phone, it's good enough. It will do. I guess I might have accidentally fixed the issue, which is a good thing. Actually, according to YouTube, I'm actually. Oh, whoops. No. Okay, for some reason, this was being weird. Because it says the stream's bitrate is higher, but that's kind of what I want. I want a bitrate that is so high that YouTube will just implode on itself. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Alright, so might as well open the doors since we'll be leaving pretty soon. Alright, so I know this is a bit rough. This is, yeah, first things first. So I have to make sure to do that I'm doing things the proper way, because, you know, we want explosions. Right, Russell? Russell? That's what I thought.
No.
That's, okay, good. Alright, so Russell's behaving properly! Yay! He's behaving properly! Well done, Russell. So what's the plan for today's stream? Well, it's mostly going to be talking about my new computer and other things. So what we're going to do for today is drive this MBTA train from province to Boston, and then we'll drive the AS64 Regional. And I just realized I forgot to install a mod. Well, I forgot to install the Shiny Amphi Coaches mod. Well, well, I guess we'll have to deal with that for today then. Oh well. Yeah, I installed a mod that makes the Amphi coats look more shiny and stuff like that, looking more realistic and lifelike, but I just realized that I forgot to actually install it and get it working before this live stream. So we'll just have to deal with that for today. Alrighty then, so we are now
not driving with Amphi coaches.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be driving with those after this. Well, yeah, so I don't know. Well, we'll just have to put up with it then. There's not much I can do. So here's our F40, our power for today. The only MBTA locomotive in this game for some reason. Yes, let's only do the F40. Forget the other things. Yeah, yeah, I have a lot to say about this DLC, by the way, which all that will be discussed today. Okay, I'm not sure because my phone is like smaller, but yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any blur. Like, I can actually do this properly. I will have to view this afterwards just to make sure, but from what I'm
on my laptop screen and I put it on full screen. There is absolutely no blurring going on.
Okay, good. Well, I guess I fixed the issue. Well, good. That's nice, because I was doing some testing yesterday and it was a bit blurry, but I guess maybe overnight everything just magically fixed itself and now it's not blurry at all. So, you know what? I'm gonna call that a win. Alright. Alright, let's load up patches. Let's go! Let's go on a big world adventure. Alright, release the brakes. And we are off. Come on, train. There we go. So here we are, of course, also got the MBB type MBTA coaches. Because the double deckers were too much to ask. And there is a building. As a building indeed. I think I may have showed that in real life in another video at some point. So yeah, as you could have guessed, I am on a brand new computer, a computer that I just got last week, and as you can tell, it is better than my old computer in every single way. It is so good. So yes, it's a very powerful machine indeed. Like, it's so powerful that it puts my old computer to shame. Alright, so I'm not gonna worry about the blurriness for right now. I'll just deal with that later. So, new computer. Well, I guess since we're on the road, well, actually, I have to think for now. Let's actually just marvel the graphics. Oops, as I'm speeding. Good job, me. So yeah, in case, so I should notice, or I can't talk English right now because I'm so excited. This is max graphics settings. This is as good as the game can look. I have turned all of the graphic settings to their max. So this is Train Sim World 2 in the best graphic setting that it can have. And as you see, it looks pretty good. It's not the greatest looking game in the world, but it's nice enough, and I like it. Then again, of course, this is built on the Unreal Engine 4, which is a pretty popular engine for things, stuff like that. And keep in mind, this game is supposed to be superior to what is now known as Train Simulator Classic. So I guess I'll mention other Train Sim World things. So, first off, I guess I'll start by talking about the this DLC itself, the Boston Sprinter it's called, or Boston to Providence. So you may be asking, what do I think of this DLC and other things? So yeah, you probably could guess, but I was absolutely ecstatic when this DLC was first announced. I was like, wow! After a million years, they're finally doing the section of the Northeast Corridor that I am the most familiar with. And that section from Boston to Providence. And if you have watched my Boston trip videos, you will know that, of course, this is the line that we use to go from Providence to Boston and then back to Providence afterwards. Also, here is the big train yard, which I should know very well. Fuck up the speed a little bit. Yes. And look at that, some random locomotives. Just like some cool sitting in the middle of the yard. Courtesy of the sand patch, great. So I guess my overall opinions on this route. Well, the route itself, it's pretty accurate for the most part. There are a few things wrong with it, but for the most part, to give credit where credit's due, Dovetail did a pretty good job at replicating this route in virtual form. And I should know because this is probably the only route that I'm actually qualified to, like, say, oh, this looks right, or oh, this looks wrong. And I am pleased to say that most of this does look correct. Now, there are a few inaccuracies, and you'll actually see what I mean when we get South Attleboro, but for the most part, it's really good. So, wow, Dovetail did a thing. Another thing you may be wondering is how did I get my hands on this game? Well, Russell is gonna like to hear this, but yeah, to get this game, I actually did some piracy stuff. So right now I'm actually playing so right now I'm actually playing a torrented copy of this game. This is not a legal version, this is not from the Epic Games Store or from the Steam Store. This is a torrent that I downloaded off the Grey Web. Because I will say I do like Train Sim World, but I still refuse to spend anything on this game because it's still lacking in other features, such as the route builder, or a good quality scenario editor. This train does have a scenario maker, but it's not that good. So, yeah. But I still want to give this game a try and play and stuff like that, so I figured, I'll at least try to get it for free. And actually, even getting this game for free, though, was a bit of a challenge, but in the end, I was able to find it. And, that's how I'm able to do this stream today, playing Train Sim World. And showing this game off in its brilliant form. Okay, hopefully this coming across going, yeah. Okay, it does have the occasional lag spike that I've noticed. I'm just gonna go turn down the bitrate. Real quick, because actually YouTube's actually saying it exceeding the minimum bitrate. Oh, okay, no, it just ended itself. Good job, YouTube. Okay, yeah. So first live stream has some problems. Okay, so I'm gonna turn down the bitrate a little bit more. One nice thing, I can do that on the fly. Bitrate. There it is. I'm gonna turn it down to 14,000. Actually, 15,000 should do just fine. Okay, back to the game we go. Alright, come up to South Attleboro, first stop of the day. Oh, see, well done, Duff. They actually got a decent horn for this, for the cab car. Alright, around the curve, we now crossing the state border. We're going from Rhode Island into Massachusetts. Okay, I've noticed the game is stuttering, or not the game, the stream is stuttering a little bit. Yeah, streaming is difficult. Okay,
You barely notice it if you don't look at it, if you don't look for that.
Alright, yeah, alright, you know what, I'm not gonna
The
mess
thing is that you're driving, that's why you, actually, you're looking at the stream, but yeah, you're looking at, you're paying attention to that, but if you don't pay attention to that, you don't really notice.
Alright, speed up a little bit to South Attleboro. Come on, train. There we go. Alright, well, so yeah, viewers, oops. This is my first stream on my new computer, so do bear with me. If there are any problems or whatever, it'll have to be fixed for the next live stream. Alright, approaching South Attleboro. Yeah, the brake's a little bit too early there. Alright, welcome to South Attleboro Station. Station that, if you guys watch my other videos, this is a station that you should be familiar with. Yep, welcome to South Attleboro. It's actually probably the worst looking station on this route in terms of like accuracy. Okay, not just accuracy, in general it just doesn't look that good. Alright, but yeah, welcome to South Attleboro. So if I were to look around here, I think the worst part is actually this bit here, yeah. This doesn't look right at all. Yeah, there's a number of things wrong. I mean, I will say, most of it looks fine, I guess. Oh, also, for some reason, okay, this is kind of more a bit of a nitpick, but there's no holes in these rusty stairs. This thing should be full of holes. Now, for some reason, this ramp here is just one straight thing when it's supposed to be like, have some thingies and stuff. I'm probably making no sense, but yeah, it's not the best thing in the world. Alrighty then.
You are a bad train cut.
You! Alright, bad trader, enough the runners overrunning the platform all the time. There's a train coming. Oh, another train. Hello. Oh, he's got a V-rail coach. Yeah, I got some very interesting paint jobs, so you're gonna see stuff like that. And I see this train has a coach that's painted in V-rail. Yay! We love V-rail, don't we, Russell?
No.
Ha 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 ha. Alright, so I'll take off here and then I'll talk about my computer, because I think it's pretty much time to talk about computer related things, because this is supposed to be the big debut of my new computer. And well, I should probably talk about the computer itself and how amazing it is. Oh, whoops. It just takes a bit for these brakes to release. That guy's leaving. Just got here. Oh, no, I'm moving. I thought he was moving, but it's actually me that's moving. I don't know how I made that mistake. Wow, Russell's testing the stream's working. Well done, Russell. Also, a couple things. This is kind of a sausage thing, but yeah, first live stream doing with my Blue Yeti microphone. That's why my voice sounds a lot more clear and crisp as opposed to the last time I used the microphone. Yeah. Not sure it's coming across on stream, but yeah. Yeah, this is basically just one big experiment live stream. As you can tell, yeah, there's a lot to learn. So, enough talking about a bunch of rubbish. Let's actually talk about the computer itself as I drop my phone. So, first what I need to do is actually find the thing. Hang on, where is it? Gotta find the email because it has all my thingy. Here it is. Alright, so let's talk about the computer. So this computer is an iBuyPower computer. Specifically, it's the iBuyPower Creator RDY LCM RG208. It's that one. So iBuyPower computer. Because iBuyPower turned out to be the best one that I decided to go with. And I'll explain why in a bit. But yeah, I guess we'll talk about the computer itself. So first up, specifications. First up, we have the processor. This thing, and yeah, like I said, this is not like a baby computer, whatever. This is a full-blown, proper gaming computer. So the processor of this thing, there's an AMD Ryzen 9 5950X, which does 3.4 gigahertz, 64 megabytes. I don't know what that means, but yeah, this computer has a monster of a CPU, one of the best in the business. It's not quite the best in the world. Actually, it just stopped sort of the AMD Threadripper series of CPUs. But you know what? The 5950X is still a very, very good CPU. This is like top quality CPU stuff. You can't get much better than this. Memory. This thing has 32 gigabytes of RAM. So this thing doesn't mess around the RAM department. It 32 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, I went with 64 because that's all I could afford. This was a $4,000 computer. Yeah, $4,000 computer, by the way. This computer cost me $4,000. So quite a lot, but worth every penny. So, I decided to go. I mean, I say that go. It's just how the computer came with. But 32 gigabytes of RAM should be enough, rather than 64. In fact, I think 64 gigabytes is actually a bit overkill. You don't necessarily need 64 gigabytes of RAM to play your games at super high frame rates and stuff. 30 gigabytes of RAM, still a lot more than my previous computer, so there's that. Here we go, graphics card. This thing has a GeForce RTX 3090 or 3090. So, this thing has a super graphics card as well. This thing has the second best graphics card in the market. The only thing that actually beats this graphics card is the GeForce RTX 390i. But this thing still has a really, really good graphics card. And actually, I think the graphics card might wind up being the most important part in this computer. So, I got a computer which has like one of the best graphics card in the history of mankind. Motherboard is a X570 with Wi-Fi, made by ASRock, I think. Power supply is 800 watts. I am running Windows 11, by the way. That's another thing. I am officially done with Windows 10. And I officially moved on to Windows 11. And also, this happens to be Windows 11 Pro. So I'm on the Pro version of Windows 11 for some reason. And this thing costs a grand total of $4,000. Plus $279 in taxes. So, yeah. This thing was very expensive. But very well worth it. So, super good CPU. A lot of RAM. Very good graphics card. It's basically a full-blown computer. Like, this thing, it's basically, it's so close to being like the best gaming computer that money can buy. It's that good. So $4,000 to get this computer, but I'd say it was very well worth the price. I've tested out as many games on this thing as I can. I've tested Forza Horizon 5, Trace World, and many other things, and they all run super well on this computer. So this thing was definitely a very, very good purchase. I'd say it was $4,000 well spent, and I would in fact recommend you guys to consider getting a computer as good as this one. Now, it is very expensive, so you may be blowing the bank unless you're like a very rich person, or you just happen to have $4,000 lying around and you have no idea what to do with, but yeah, it's a super good computer. Absolutely love it. It's a huge improvement as well from my previous computer. Like, the previous computer, the one before this one, this new thing just tramps all over it in every single way. It's that good. That's how I'm able to stream Train Sim World. By the way, for the record, Train Sim World, it didn't do all that well on my old computer. I mean, it did fine. It was at least playable, but I had to turn the graphics settings down basically to the lowest amount. Where, fortunately, here I can turn the graphics to the highest amount, and it works absolutely splendidly. So yeah, basically the new computer is better than the old computer in every single way, by a huge margin too. So that's the best part about this whole thing. So now you may be wondering why did I purchase such an expensive computer? Why did I purchase such a good computer? Well, so I've talked about the computer itself, but now it's time to tell the story behind this computer. So children, gather around because it is time for story time with Freund of Abend. Are you ready, Russell? Russell? Russell. Wow, Russell isn't triggered about to do story time. I mean, wow, Russell always blows on the microphone because he causes confusion. Never mind. Alright, so I have three different things. So basically, I have three different things to say about this computer, and just to be interesting, I have divided into the past, present, and future. So, a lot of things to talk about. So, I shall now begin with the past. So in case you didn't know, I have been playing games on computers things for a very, very long time. In fact, I go all the way back to the days of Windows XP. The Windows XP computer was my first time playing games, and yeah, I've been playing games for a really long time actually. Like, this goes all the way back to the day. I wasn't really serious about it. In fact, actually, most of the time I was actually playing computers back in the day, or yeah, playing with computers back in the day was actually video creation. I used Windows Movie Maker and stuff to make videos and things. But I also played video games quite a bit as well because I thought they were pretty cool. I mean, the idea that you could do something in like a virtual world was like pretty cool. I had my fair share of Tim Tom games as well, and some other stuff, but I started to get a bit more serious about playing games around 2014 when I first got my hands on Train Simulator, and that being Train Simulator Classic, or Train Simulator 2015, that was another time. So when I started playing Train Simulator, that was when I started to get a bit more serious about playing video games. And then around 2015, the topic of getting a gaming computer came up for the first time. Because I was actually inspired by another YouTuber, and he got like a super good computer, which made the game run a lot more smoothly. So I was like, I should get a gaming computer as well, because the computer that I started playing on was it wasn't even like a gaming computer, it was just your regular work computer. It wasn't really meant for playing games, it was just meant for doing computer things. So I want to get a gaming computer just to play Train Simulator at a higher graphics, because I had to turn the graphics settings down pretty low on Rarebrook's Train Simulator just to get the game to, you know, run smoothly. So I brought up the idea of a gaming computer in like 2015, and nothing much really happened. It wasn't until 2018 when the topic of a gaming computer came back up again. Was I playing way too much troll there? So I brought up with my dad the topic of getting a gaming computer, and at first I didn't really expect anything to come of it. But then, one night when we were doing a Top Gear show, my mom came with the news that my dad had purchased a gaming computer. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, wow, I was gonna have my very own gaming computer that would be able to play video games in super high frame rate and do all kinds of cool things, stuff like that. And it was like the coolest thing in the world. So, yeah, basically I was gonna be getting my dream machine. So then the computer, so I started playing on that computer. And at first it was the coolest thing ever. I started playing Train Simulator on it, I could run a really high graphics setting, and I was also able to get back into playing NASCAR Racing 2003 season. And, yeah, basically I was having fun playing computer games now at a super high frame rate. I wasn't being... You're seeing his hand, he just sneezed for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the coolest thing being able to play games in higher frame rates. But then the problems began when I started to play games that were a bit more graphically demanding. See, previously I was playing Railroad Train Simulator and 2003, which are two pretty old games which run on pretty old technology. So of course the frame rate is going to be good on a lesser computer. But then the first game that I played that was a bit more graphically demanding is called Race the Brakes. So I basically played Forza Motorsport 6 Apex, which is like a free version of Forza that you can play on PC. I tried to do a live stream on that game, and the game didn't run very well. Basically, it struggled to run, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then it came time to play Forza Horizon 4, which is one of the reasons that I want to get a gaming computer in the first place. And Forza Horizon 4 was unplayable. There's a train! Yay! Regional train! Yay! Regional train! Alright. Northeast Regional. First Amtrak train of the day. So anyway, so I then played Forza Horizon 4 on my, on my computer that I thought was like the greatest thing in the world. And the game was borderline unplayable. I couldn't play the game. I couldn't bind the coaches properly. The game was very laggy. It was unplayable. And that was just the demo version I played at first. I then got in, and then when it came time to play the full release of the game, I was trying to play Forza Horizon 4 on my current computer. It was unplayable. It was very laggy, and I was like, well, why? Why is the game running so poorly? I then did a bit more digging, and then it came to my realization that my computer was nowhere near as amazing as I thought it was. And actually, I did live stream this. So I just did a video and a live stream back in 2018 playing Forza Horizon 4, the demo, and the full game itself. And, yeah, the game was unplayable. So after a while, yeah, it basically clicked to me that it turns out that gaming computers are quite a lot more layered than I initially thought. There's a lot more to them. And I was like, I thought to myself, oh, this is an $850 gaming computer. This needs to be amazing. And, no, actually, it's not. It's nowhere near as good as you think. So, yeah. So after I found that out, I pretty much just decided that I was just gonna just put up with this thing. Alright, so I had a gaming computer, and it was still good for, like, YouTube stuff. So I figured, I'll just put up with the limitations and stuff. But I always had the plan to replace that computer with a new one. So fast forward to 2022. Now we're getting to more recent times. Social Security decided to finally approve me for these benefits. So that would mean that I would finally be getting $1,300 a month for doing nothing. Basically, because I was, I'm not actually disabled. I was like, yeah, it's free money, okay? It's basically free money. So I was like, why not? Let's do this. So they did the first deposit, and that was actually how I was able to get my iPad Air. Yeah, if you watched my my Train of ATS 2015 video that I released back in January, I have the whole explanation there of how I got my iPad and what was the plan for the future and all that stuff. And then around March was when the topic started to really come up. I'm gonna get all this money from Social Security. Why not use this opportunity to finally get the gaming computer that I truly want? And now we get to the present. Now I say present this is, I wouldn't call this the present. It's more recent history. I just wanted to just call it the present just for the fun of it, but it's not actually the present. Actually, thank goodness it's not the present anymore. So this is now officially the past. But yeah, so now we go from events that happened a long time ago to now more recent stuff, and now we get into what I am dubbing the new computer saga, because this whole saga to get this gaming computer that I'm showing right now was a lot more of a journey than I could have ever imagined. So it all started in around mid-March. By that point, I pretty much bought everything I want. I had a new iPad, new phone, new microphone, new webcam, more hard drive, new watch. Pretty much every single thing I had before, I had replaced with something that was newer and better in every single way. So the logical thing to get next was the last piece of the puzzle. The last thing I needed was the gaming computer that I wanted forever and always. Okay, maybe not forever and always, but you get the point. So around mid-March was when it really came to me. It was like, yeah, this might happen soon. So I get out of the train, just sort of put with the noise. I was approaching Mansfield. Okay, I'm gonna go for that for a second. These run sounds, by the way, are pretty good. Alright, coming to a stop. Okay, so hold the thought of the story time for a second, because yeah, stop. This train is very noisy for some reason. Was coming to a stop. I don't know. I don't know why the brake's so noisy. Guess it's just like that. I don't know. Alright, going a bit slow. I spoke quite a bit sooner than I was supposed to. Oh well. Look at these spectacular camera shots, like a movie. Okay, the sounds of the birds. Okay, new computer saga then. Yeah, kind of got distracted by the whole stopping thing, but well, I say distracted, it just came up on me. But anyway, new computer stuff. So yeah, it was around mid-March where I decided, yes, okay, time to get a game computer. So train's reversing. Alright, fine, I'm gonna be outside then for a bit. So oh, we're actually here a little bit late. I guess I stopped so slowly. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I wish things would stop happening so I could tell my story. Okay. So, it was around mid-March when I was... Okay, so but then there was a bit of a thing. So, I basically needed to find the perfect computer because... So, the old computer that I had before this one, the computer that I've been using now for the past 4 years, is a digital storm computer, and I was not gonna get another digital storm computer because this digital storm computer, by the way, that I have right now is really overpriced. So it's $800 for this thing, and yet it's only worth about, I don't know, $600 or something. It's just not that good. I mean, the CPU, actually all the parts are really just not up to the task, really. So I was like, yeah. So I just kind of just waited my options, and I was trying. Basically, what I was trying to do then, because I only have so much money to spend, I was trying to find the best computer for the best price. I didn't want to spend too much on a computer that just wasn't quite as good as I wanted to be. I basically wanted to get the best value for money that I possibly could have. So I went through about 4 different Yeah, basically I went through 4 different manufacturers before I decided to settle on iPower, the one that made this particular computer that I'm streaming on right now. So the first thing, well, should we go Digital Storm? And I looked at what Digital Storm had to offer, and I watched some reviews and stuff like that, Digital Storm, and yeah, it's overpriced. So I basically knocked off Digital Storm. I then did some more research, and then I heard of a company called VRLA Tech, and this company. So basically, I watched a gaming computer company's fearless video, and they talked about VRLA Tech quite highly. So I thought to myself, interesting. So then I looked a bit deeper into VRLA Tech, and I thought to myself, oh, okay, this stuff is actually quite good. And then my original plan, my plan then, was to pay for the computer in installments, because, of course, I want to get, like, the best computer, and their best one was $3,000. And my plan was to just get the computer then, and then pay in installments, so I would basically pay for the computer over time, rather than pay for the computer in full, because that means I'll have my computer launched soon. I won't have to wait several months for the monthly Social Security payments to come and add up the money that I would need to purchase the computer. So I tried to do that, and then it just went stupidly, because for some reason, whenever these companies have the availability to do this, they basically use a service called Affirm. This thing called Affirm, which is like a service that you can use, or service that they use, so you can pay for computer installments rather than all at once. And they ask you so many questions, and I tried it so many times over to fill out all the stuff, and they just decline me every single time. So I was like, okay, well, this is not going to work. The only way I'm going to be able to get a computer is if I pay for it in full. So I had $18 to spend at the time. This was around March. Yeah, still in March, by the way. And I decided I was going to get a stopgap computer. So my original plan then was just get a stopgap computer that I would use. I would purchase that computer, and then use that. And then a few years from now, I would then get the ultimate computer when I have more money. So then I went ahead and purchased the next best computer. So I had $8 to spend. I actually bought a computer that was exactly $1,800. And, I thought to myself, alright, well, let's see what happens. And, then I learned something else about VRLA Tech. I placed in my order, and then they just took forever with getting back to me about my purchase. And then I looked into VRLA Tech, and I noticed that as amazing as their computers are, their shipping times are super long. Like there was a whole Reddit page where people can state the dates from like when they purchased the computer to when it arrived, and a lot of them were all around 5 to 6 months. I was not going to wait 5 to 6 months for a new computer, because by that point I would have enough money to buy an even better computer anyways. So that was so stupid. So then I decided to refund my money from VRLA Tech and decide, okay, VRLA Tech takes forever. So then I had the most genius idea ever. I was instead going to buy my new computer through Amazon. Now, ever since this whole we'll get into that, but ever since this whole Social Security benefits thing started, I've been purchasing quite a lot of stuff, and most of this all come through Amazon. And Amazon has won me over because their shipping is fast, okay? All the stuff that I bought from Amazon arrived within, like, a week or less than a week from when I purchased it. It was really, really fast. So I thought to myself, I should buy a computer through Amazon. So then I looked into it and figured out what was the best deal, what was the best computer, what was the best computer that I could buy for a good price. I then watched a video. I actually found a whole channel that was all around like, oh, best computer deal on Amazon and stuff. And there was this one particular computer that was worth about $2,500, and it was a computer made by another company called Skytech. It was the Skytech CH3.0 or something. It was available on Amazon, and I thought to myself, that's the one. And all I thought the computer was $2,500. I had $1,800. But if I waited a couple more weeks until the month of April, I would have $2,500, which would be enough to pay for that computer in full, and I would have my computer. So let's just say that if things went a little bit differently, I could have had a brand new computer 2 months sooner than when I would end up receiving my computer. So basically what I've done so far was look through a bunch of different things and stuff like that, and in the end I settled on an Amazon computer. I don't know, I'll slow down to the conversation. Oh, it's right there. Wow, I took out the brakes at a good time this time. Well, on me. Say, Russell, I told you, I'm the greatest train driver in the history of the world. Okay, maybe it's a little bit too early for there, but whatever. Is that another train? Oh, I thought it was another train. Oh, there is another train though, but it's going the opposite direction. Another BTA train. Yay! Alright, welcome to Sharon Miller. Another train pulling in. Hello. Oh, another V-Rail coach. Hello. The V-Rail was actually the only one I've seen. I'm not sure what happened to all my other coaches. I might have to... Because they actually have a bunch of different paints. I don't know. Maybe we just have to wait and see. Anyway. So, I waited. I say I waited. So, okay. So after about a week of trying to go through as many different computers as I could to find the best deal, I ultimately decided to settle on that Amazon computer, the Skytech Siege one. And like I said, in the month of April, I would have $2,500, which would be enough to pay for that computer in full. So I was like, okay, we've done our research. We have now come to a computer that I can buy, and I can buy it soon. Except, I have to wait another 2 weeks before I would actually have the money to purchase it in full. And then following that was the longest 2 weeks of my life. Okay, not my life, but it was a very long 2-week wait from when I made the final decision, to when I would actually buy it. So after that, the 2-week wait began. So that's 2 weeks from when I made that discovery. Oh, there's a thing I could have got there. 2 weeks to when I would actually purchase the computer. So for those next 2 weeks of the waiting process, they were pretty, well, it was basically just trying to make time go by as quickly as I could make it go by. It was, I mean, it felt slow. It was kind of boring, but 2 weeks later, the date came. So we arrived, this was Monday, April 4th. And this was the day that Social Security was supposed to buy my computer. And by this point, the money that I had recently paid to Fairlight Tech for my computer from them had been refunded. And this was also a limited edition computer that I wanted to get, well, the Skytech Siege one. And fortunately, that computer was still in stock by the time it was time to purchase it. So, 2 weeks of waiting. And then the new computer saga really, that was what we were saying. The new computer saga really started. Because, guess what? This was the point in time when Social Security decided not to deposit my money. Yeah, they deposited my money for January, February, March. But come April, the most important one yet, they decided, nah, I don't really feel like it. And they didn't deposit the money for the month of April. And wow. So that was 2 whole weeks of waiting. 2 weeks of waiting for nothing. The day finally came, and it was the most disappointing, crushing thing ever. I was like, wow, I waited 2 weeks just to find out that I get to wait even longer for my new computer. So we got in contact with Social Security to find out what in the world was going on. And to put it short, apparently we were blowing too much money, which makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, why? Why did you cut off the money just for spending too much of it. That's stupid. But basically, what we had to do after that was wait for it. Okay, so what we had to do after that was wait for a letter. So once the wait fast here. So once that happened, we called up Social Security, and in short, they said that we had to wait for a letter, and the letter would basically give us the instructions, set up a special bank account. It was basically a special payee bank account, where my mom would receive the money through that, and then we would be able to basically be able to get our money again. Yeah, it's been more complicated, but basically to put it short, it was the only way that we were gonna be able to resume the Social Security payments. So I'm just gonna come over here because it's quite loud. Yeah, so basically okay, so in short, we had to wait for a letter and then set up a special bank account. So basically, it was a 2-week wait. So 2-week wait from when we called them up to find out what was going on to when we would actually, or when we were supposed to be receiving the letter to receive, or to set up the special bank account so we'd be able to continue the Social Security payments. I'm gonna stop at the right place, by the way. Oh yeah. By the way, that's how the MBTA stops. So I did that like a professional. Anyways, so we had to go, so basically we had to wait 2 whole weeks for the letter. Yeah, it's funny, we waited 2 weeks, but guess what? Now we get to wait 2 more weeks. And I wasn't even sure when the letter was going to be arriving. So I got desperate. Actually, no, they didn't even say, I'm stupid, they didn't even say 2 weeks, actually. They just said that we had to wait for a letter to arrive to set the special bank account. I don't even think we even knew when letter would be arriving. I think it was like, I don't know. I say it's 2 weeks. Ironically enough, it was actually 2 weeks to the day that they actually sent in the letter. But basically, we had to wait a certain amount of time for a letter to arrive. And yeah, so basically that meant that I was not going to have a new computer for a little while longer. And after a while, I just got fed up with waiting. So then I got desperate. I got desperate to be like, alright, can I find a good gaming computer for just $1,800, the amount of money that I already had? And I was like, $800 is a lot of money. They should at least be able to get me a good enough computer. And guess what? I found one. Ironically, it was another iPower computer. So this was a computer that I found through Amazon, by the way. It was an iPower computer, same maker as the one that I ultimately decided to buy, ultimately the one I'm using right now. But it was a lower spec model. It had a AMD Ryzen 9 5900 as opposed to 5950. It's actually a really amazing CPU. But in every other department, it was lacking. It had 16 gigabytes of RAM and a graphics card that couldn't even keep up with the CPU. And actually, I'll get more deeper to that, well, as you go through the story a bit. So, actually, so the door's locking. There we go. So anyways, I found that computer, $800 with those specifications. It took some effort. Even Amazon was being stupid. But fortunately, I was ultimately able to purchase the computer through the retailer that was actually going through Amazon. It was a retailer called Adorama, and that was the retailer that I ultimately bought that computer from. And that was definitely a very interesting moment. After quite a long time of waiting, I thought I had finally secured the computer that I was looking for. So I bought the computer on a Thursday, and the computer stuff arrived on a Friday. And then I had to go through the whole weekend. This was in early April, by the way. Or in April now. So I bought the computer. And then I had to go through the whole weekend. But then Sunday was when it finally arrived. Yes. So, it was at this point that I actually had a computer. One that I could use for, well, one I could use and stuff. One that the computer that I wanted to use for the things that I wanted to do with. So, I was able to use the computer itself starting on that Sunday. And then the problems with that computer kicked in. So I unboxed the computer, did a bunch of things, and then, I unboxed the computer, and yada yada yada. It was then at this point that the problems began when I initially fired up the computer. So, what I tried to do at first was plug the computer into my monitor, although actually one thing, I noticed that the computer didn't even have like a connector to go to my current monitor that I had at the time. So I then tried to plug it into the TV through my HDMI cable, but that didn't work either. I then asked my dad to bring over the correct cable that I needed to plug my monitor into the computer. That didn't work either. Basically, what was going on is that for some reason, my brand new computer that I spent $800 on was refusing to connect up to any monitor that I used. My current monitor wasn't working, my TV wasn't working, nothing was working. So we tried to keep on doing a bunch of experiments, and yeah, that sucked. It wasn't until the next day, on Monday, when my dad decided to go to Staples and buy a monitor, a brand new monitor, for my new computer. And I was gonna buy a new monitor anyways, because the one that I had before that just, it was very square, let's say. So another reference to the engine roll call. Anyways. So, we got a new monitor, and finally, it was working. Yes, after all that fiddling around, we were finally able to get my computer into a state where it could actually be used. Okay, so down for hour 28. Yes. So yeah, a lot of fiddling around was needed for that. But finally, my computer was actually working properly. Yeah, we bought the monitor from Staples, and only then my computer decided that it wanted to work properly. I was able to start the computer, I got the startup screen, and wow, I actually had a computer that I could actually play with. About time. So we took it home. Oh yeah, by the way, so actually what we had to do was we bought the computer on the Sunday. So on the Sunday, we bought the new computer. I say new computer, the other new computer that I had before this one. As part of the new computer stock. We brought that on Sunday from Dad's house over to my mom's house where I would be using it and stuff like that. But then Sunday, when we figured out that it was all wrong, we had to get back to my dad's house that night to try to experiment more, and nothing worked. But then Monday, when we found the monitor, by the way, this is actually this is the monitor I'm using right now, by the way, the one that we got from Staples, and wow, I got here early. Yeah, so new monitor finally worked. So then, after that, we took everything back, and on that Monday, I finally had a brand new computer that was better than my old one in every single way. So then I ran some tests, and most of them went pretty well. I played Train World, I played Forza, I did all the things, I played all these games. Basically, I did all that as a way to just stress test. Your sausage. Stress test my new computer that I had got, to just see how powerful it really was. Like, would I need to buy better parts for it, or was this computer just good right off the bat? Well, one of the problems came up right away. I noticed that the computer that I had bought, the CPU was really good, but the thing is, that was the point. The CPU was barely being used, whereas my graphics card was getting all the exercise. And I was like, okay. And actually, it was when I got to Forza Horizon 5 that I set the settings on that as high as I could, and Forza Horizon 5 was maxing out my graphics card all the way to 100%. Or maxing out the graphics card, maxing out the graphics card to 100%, while the CPU was like chilling at like 30 or 40% or something like that. So, basically, I had got a computer with, I mean, it was good. It could at least play Train World, but when it came to Forza, the graphics card was lacking. So the CPU was really good, but everything else, not so much. So I figured, okay, well, I'll just put up with it for now, and I will, and we'll get the better stuff later. Because fortunately, the CPU is the most complicated part to swap out, whereas the graphics card and the RAM and other things are a lot more easy. So then I began the process of actually transferring. Basically I was preparing to set up the computer. But there was something else, though. This is actually where things began to get even more interesting. So, the computer that I bought was running on Windows 10, but I wanted to run on Windows 11 as I go to neutral for some reason. So, and I couldn't like go through the settings app on the computer to update it to Windows 11. And then I realized why I needed to do a BIOS update, because the graphics card in that computer wasn't updated to the latest BIOS version. And however, if I updated to a more recent BIOS version, then I would be able to get Windows 11. And then the BIOS thing was where everything blew up. So, I need to do a BIOS update, basically. So I was like, okay, we'll do this BIOS update, and it'll be real simple. Because I actually did a few BIOS updates on my old computer, and those BIOS updates, they went fine. Nothing really happened. I then do one BIOS update on that other computer, and everything just crashed. So, once that BIOS update was finished, I had this weird glitch where the computer would start up, and then for no reason at all, after 2 minutes, it would just shut off. Like, no warning, and nothing happened, it just cut off. And it wasn't even like it shut down, like it got to the shutdown screen, it just went black. Everything just went completely, yeah. It was, yeah. Everything was just totally dark. So I was like, okay, well that's a bit worrying. So basically the BIOS update, I went and screwed up the computer. And basically made the computer unusable. And, yeah, that's when everything went south with that computer. So, basically I did a faulty BIOS update. So in my desperation to try to fix it, I tried to go back to an earlier BIOS version in the hopes that the computer would stay on long enough to complete the BIOS of the BIOS version. It did not. And after that, the computer was bricked. And I knew the risk. I knew that if you happen to do a BIOS update, and your computer shuts down during the BIOS update, your computer will be bricked. Basically, that means that your computer will become useless, because the BIOS chip has become totally fried. And after that, it is impossible to use the computer. Yeah. The only way to fix the computer after that is to try to find some way to reflash the BIOS, or get a whole new motherboard, or a whole new BIOS chip. Basically, that just made the process a lot more difficult and stupid. Also, welcome to Reedville! Yay! Reedville Station! Anyway, y'all, by the way, I did a video here a couple years ago. You guys should watch it. Yay, Reedville. I'll go slow down. Well, yeah, basically I've done a faulty BIOS update. So in a desperation to fix it and save the computer, I then tried to do the reverse BIOS update, and because of course it was gonna happen, the computer cut off during the BIOS update, and after that it was bricked. So yeah, for the first time, I managed to brick a computer and render it useless. So basically, after that point, I was left with an $1,800 brick. Yes. So, yeah, basically I went ahead and ruined my computer. And I really didn't need to, because even when I was running Windows 10, it was actually running pretty well. It's just I wanted to upgrade to Windows 11, just for the sake of having Windows 11. Which turned out to be a stupid idea, and it was probably gonna go wrong from the start, but I decided to do it anyway, just because I really wanted to. Also, wow, we're just, okay, I say we're about to enter the Southwest Corridor section of this, and I still haven't quite gotten to the end of my story yet. This is a very long story, so it's a good thing we're doing a whole live stream where I'm telling the story of my computer.
Because I can't.
Alright! That's a rule. Anyways, so yeah, I had a brick. It was bricked. So, yeah. So after that, I tried to find other solutions to try to unbrick it, try to reset the BIOS, and to no avail. I tried to remove the CMOS battery, didn't make a difference. I thought about just flashing the BIOS, but that would be too complicated. My dad even recommended me a professional who would know about that kind of stuff, and he couldn't really help out either. So I was left with no choice but to send the computer back. Yeah, so after that, I basically it came to my conclusion that I would have no choice but to send the computer back and exchange it for a new one. So after that whole thing, I called up Adorama, I called up Power to see if I could do anything with them, and in the end, Adorama they sent me the thing, and unfortunately, I was able to send the computer back for free. So, fortunately, there was no financial loss or any money loss from that whole experience where I blew up a computer because I'm stupid. Yeah, so basically I paid $1,800 for the computer, and I was able to send it back for no extra charge. So that was good. So we sent it back, and yeah. So, so by this point it was Thursday. Or no, yeah. So Thursday we had the computer all packed up, and Friday we officially sent the computer back to the mailbox and got the computer ready to go back to where it came from. So, so now things get interesting once again. So we sent the computer back, and of course it was just Easter. And actually, this is gonna play into this. So by this point, it was Easter weekend, and then following that was the Passover holiday. It's basically the week in April when everyone just goes on vacation for an entire week, and I mean everyone, because this part started to annoy, this part was annoying to me. So after we sent out the computer on Friday, it then arrived back to where it came from on that Monday. And then I asked Adorama, well, when am I gonna get my ways? Because basically, what my plan was to send the computer back to where I bought it from, and have it exchanged for another computer that was exactly the same. And then, so my original plan was to exchange the computer, and then the exchanged computer. What my plan then was to just put up with the limitations of the computer, and then once those curious stuff is fixed, I would upgrade the parts and make it into an even better computer. As the other signal for some reason. So the computer then arrived back at the retailer, Adorama, after that happened. Or after we initially bought the computer, a week before that, actually. Yeah. So basically I had that computer for a grand total of, well, basically it was in our hands for a whole week, but I was only able to actually use it for 3 days. Yeah, 3 days before I bricked it. So, I then asked Adorama, well, when am I going to get my exchange computer? And then I went on Adorama's website and I noticed something negative, something anti-good, something bad. So basically, because of the Passover holidays, Adorama, the retailer, was going to be going on a week-long break. And what that meant is that, what that meant was that they were pausing any and all shipments for a whole week. So for that whole week up until the Passover holiday had finished, any orders would not ship until the date. So basically, if you bought something during the Passover holiday, it was not going to ship until the Passover holiday was over. I hold that off for a moment because we're entering Forest Hills! Yay! Forest Hills, the greatest station in the history of the world! As I went way too fast over these points. Anyway, yeah. Forest Hills. Where I've been here a number of times. And also, this is where we're going to see Murder's cousins! Right, Russell? That's where the MBTA Orange Line runs. Russell? Wow, Russell's blowing the microphone at the Orange Line trains. Wow. Russell always blows on the microphone whenever I mention Murder's cousins. That's something. Okay, we're approaching Ruggles. We're getting close to Boston, so I'm going to try to finish this up as quickly as I can now. So, Passoverisms happened without aroma, and they were pausing all... There you are! Took you a minute to do that one. So, yeah, so... Basically, I called up Adorama, was like wondering what in the world is going on. And eventually, that whole Passover holiday thing, where they weren't going to be shipping out orders or whatever, this did include my computer. Which means I have to wait another week for my new computer my new Exchange computer to arrive. And I was like, yay! More waiting! Basically, the whole point, or the whole song of it at this point, I've been a bunch of waiting. So, I waited for the Passover order to complete, and again, guess what? Adorama told me that they would be refunding my money instead of sending me my Exchange computer, because the computer that I bought was no longer in stock. So that was brilliant. And at that point, I thought that it couldn't get any worse. I was like, wow, okay. So I had a computer, I bricked it. Well, actually, to sum it up, so for the month of April, as I been just looking up for Ruggles here. So basically what happened now was for the month of April. So Social Security didn't pay up, but then we found a good deal for $800, which had a computer with a really good CPU and really good stuff in general, or at least I thought it was. We got the computer, we tested it, we realized it wasn't that, realized it was good, but it wasn't that good. I'm gonna stop in time. Oh boy. Yep, train coming. Yeah, we're gonna stop in time. See, I told you I was a brilliant train driver. Actually, maybe stop a little bit quickly. No! There we go. Right on the dot, too. Alright, welcome to Ruggles! Yay! Orange Line trains! Except that the orange trains are the trains of this game for some reason. Nah, I want my Orange Line trains. I want Murder's cousins. But yeah, we got a computer, we bricked it and sent it back, and then realized, oh, it's out of stock. So, I guess I'll try to sum this up as quickly as possible. So, oddly enough though, after I got the news that the computer would be refunded instead of exchanged, the letter that No blowing! The letter that Social Security promised us to set up a special bank account arrived. So we went to the bank, set up the special bank account, and did the things that they want us to do, and then relayed the information back to Social Security. I was hoping that they would fix the payment. So actually, from here on out, by the way, this is just this is Social Security stuff like that and stuff. So I'll just try to get through this as quickly as possible. So, yeah, so the whole that whole saga, by the way, like that mini saga with that computer thing that I bricked, that was basically over at that point. It was then all on Social Security just to deposit us the money because I tried to look for another computer for $800 and I couldn't find a darn thing. If I was gonna get a proper computer, I was gonna have to wait for the money to come in. So we set the special bank account and we did the things. So basically, we thought for sure that by the month of May, they would fix it and deposit the money. So by this point, we set the special bank account like Social Security told us to. We relayed the information, and after that, it was pretty much just another waiting game of waiting to see if Social Security would pay the money. And I thought for sure they would happen this time. So then it became another wait after that. Yeah, but this whole thing has been a bunch of waiting, by the way, and yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't gonna be over from there. So we wait until the month of May arrives. So they didn't deposit the money for April. Let's see if they were going to deposit the money for the month of June. I mean, for the month of May. And guess what? They didn't. Yeah. So 2 months in a row, Social Security was supposed to pay. They were supposed to deposit the money, and 2 months in a row, they didn't. Yeah, so we set up the special bank account, we did the whole thing, and despite all that, they didn't pay up again. So that was 2 months in a row. I can't see anything. 2 months in a row that they decided not to pay up. So once again, we called them to figure out why. And at first, I had a bit of hope because we called them up and we were to find out why they didn't deposit the money for the month of May. And I guess apparently, no blowing. That's it. You now have
Cancel.
That's what I thought. Alright, I've just decided something. If I do finish the story before I arrive in Boston, we'll just run around Boston for a bit and terrorize some trains, and then yeah. Then we arrive at the A664. Russell's favorite locomotive. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, the month of May arrived, and once again, Social Security didn't deposit the money that they owed me. Just like how Russell owes me money. Right, Russell? Russell? Russell. And he's died again. Yeah, so, second month in a row, they decided not to pay up. And we called them up the next day to find out why. And at first, it was, it seemed simple. It seemed simple enough. Apparently, somehow the address got messed up, so we had to correct that. Then my mom just went to the Social Security office to try to sort things out with them there. So after that point, so basically we gave them a phone call to find out what was going on. And then we found out, and then she went to the Social Security office. So I was like, okay, I wonder if it's finally gonna be over from here, because I wondered if she would go to the Social Security office, and from there we would actually be able to fix it. And then she came back with quite possibly the worst news I could have heard. Apparently they just sent another letter to do with something. And, yeah, basically this involved even more waiting. So we already waited through the second half of May, or second half of May. We had to wait through the second half of March, then the entirety of April for a new computer. So we've been waiting quite a while at this point. And at this point, I wasn't even sure this thing was ever going to end. So then came the month. So the month of May arrived, and they didn't deposit the money. And basically, I was going to have to wait another 2 weeks for a letter to arrive. And I'm not even sure what this letter contained. I actually found this out later. So what happened is that my mom went to the Social Security office and to try to fix things up with Social Security themselves so we could get the money thing restored. So then after this point, what they were going to do was send a letter that was supposed to arrive in 2 weeks. And that letter was going to be the result of what essentially was going to be the verdict of what Social Security was going to do about our monthly deposits. Okay, I'm getting kind of bored. Okay, we're nearly at South City. Sorry, this is long a bit. So after that, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. So two months in a row, Social Security didn't pay up, and at this point, I was just ready to just give up. And think to myself that the only way that I was ever going to get a new computer was to just get a job. Or something. Like Russell's been telling me to do a lot. Right, Russell? Russell? You're the one who keeps telling me to get a job!
Yeah, you do.
Yo, mother! So, oddly enough, I almost bought an iPad computer that was exactly $1,700 because, you know, I was like, yeah, sausages. But that payment didn't go through. So I was like, fine, I'll wait. So, I guess now I'll just skip to June. So, you may have also noticed as well before that I went on like a bit of a hiatus where I didn't upload videos for like a while. You actually may have noticed this. And then I did the Train of ATS 2 video titled I'm Back. That was basically my big return, or my return after being depressed for a certain amount of time, waiting for my new computer to arrive and stuff. So, yeah. So, pretty much what I decided to do after that was just do business as usual. So I was like, well, there's really nothing I can do until Social Security decides to pay up, or until I can get some sort of money that allows me to actually buy a new computer. As we're approaching Boston. Oh, that's yellow. Okay, let's go. Ironically, I like how this journey's about to end right as I'm about to. I say I'm about to. I'm getting close to finishing my story, okay? So after I made that whole I'm Back video with Train of ATS 2, that was pretty much just me just going back to business. I was like, okay, we have spent the past good couple months just waiting. Oh, there's the coach! Yay! Wi-Fi coach! That's coach that I made, by the way. Yeah, if you want some Wi-Fi, there you go. Wi-Fi is now available on all MBTA trains. And by the way, okay, there's not a real coach, but it is based on a real thing that MBTA did actually do. Wait, Amtrak train. Hello. So anyways, so, okay, continuing the story. So, I pretty much went back to business as usual because after the whole news where I was gonna have to wait for like the letter finding out what was gonna be the results of Social Security doing things, after that point, I just decided, yeah, this is just insane. So, I figured that, for that point on, I decided to just stop playing this waiting game and get back to work. So I took a couple weeks to just kind of just recover from the whole thing, and then I made the I'm Back video episode of Train of ATS 2. And after that was pretty much just business as usual. I pretty much just did the things for the month of May. I mean, month of May was kind of boring, but I was just pretty much just going through the month, just waiting for something to happen, pretty much. Fast forward to June. At this point, we hadn't heard anything from Social Security in a while. And at this point, I was just ready to be disappointed. See, through the month of April and the month of May, I came into this month thinking, okay, this might finally be over. The month of June, I had realized the Social Security. And by that point, we had heard nothing from Social Security. By the way, that letter, that they said where they were going to send the results or something, they originally said that letter was going to arrive within 2 weeks from the date that we called them, and they said that they were going to send the letter. It had been 4 weeks at that point, and the letter still hadn't arrived. So we had no idea what was going on. So I pretty much just threw a Hail Mary, and was like, let's just see what happens. And this time, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, they didn't pay up again. So 3 months in a row now. April, May, and June. Social Security didn't pay up. They didn't do the deposit. So at that point, we were going to try every possible thing. I said, yay, thing is done, yay! By the way, that's the entirety of this route. So we've completed the journey, and now I shall wait for this to complete. Okay, and we'll return to free roam while I finish up the story. There's a service. Oh, doing that. Wait, is the door openable? It is. Yay! Alright, so I just walk around South Station for a little bit. Also finish up my story. Ironic, oddly enough, though, we're getting close to the end. So don't worry, the story is almost over. So we then arrived at the month of June, and for the third month in a row, Social Security did also... Also, this part is, like, stupid. There was a Banking New Jersey sign in Massachusetts. Why? They literally just reused advertisement thingies from the original New York, Northern Dakota, New York version thing. And bye. Why did they do that? Why is there a New Jersey advertisement in Massachusetts? That's so stupid. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a one big glass of thing. It's not like this in real life.
I'm pleasing.
Oi! We're not done with the stream yet. Okay, I'll just sit here for a minute. So, what is 2 after? Is that? Oh my! Hang on. That's a Lakeshore Limited train. That's a Lakeshore Limited, which for some reason is using ASS 64s. Oh yeah, by the way, in real life, the Lakeshore Limited uses P42s, not ASS 64s. I just baked it here. That being said, the one of them I just noticed is the Phase 3 50th anniversary one. So here's a standard Phase 5 ASS 64. Does that bring it to a thing? And here is the special Phase 3 edition, which is a Train Sim World 2 advertisement, a very meta paint scheme right here. Is that a train coming? I don't know. We'll just get to the next platform here. I promise my story's almost done. I'm just checking things out for the fun of it. That's the siren in real life. Thank you. So yeah, month of June arrived, and guess what? They didn't pay up the money again. So this time around, we were going to try every single thing we could, because Social Security owed us this money. It's quite a lot more noise here than I thought. Whatever. So Social Security owed us this money. So 3 months in a row now, they didn't pay up. So at this point, we were just getting desperate. We were just trying everything we could to try and get Social Security to fix the deposit. I mean, at this point, they skipped 3 months in a row of missing payments. So at this point, they owed us $3,900.
No, you owe me $3,900.
No, you owe me $3,900. But yeah, 3 months in a row and they didn't pay up. So this time, we went to the Social Security office to find out what was going on, because at this point, we had absolutely no idea what Social Security was on about. So here's kind of what happened next. So this time, when she came back from the Social Security office, we actually got news that was actually positive, because finally, Social Security was going to pay up the money. So basically, on that same day that she went to Social Security office, this was in June, by the way. This was after they did pay up for the 3rd month in a row. She went to Social Security office and then came back with the news that I had been waiting for that Social Security had fixed up the payments and was finally going to do it. Social Security was finally going to restore the payments. So I was like, wow, finally, we're near the end of the tunnel. So at this point, the only downside though, or one of the downsides that I thought of at first, was that Social Security was only going to be paying up like $13 a month. See, I think what Social Security would typically do is that they would pay up the money. Like if they miss a payment, they'll pay up double that. Or well, basically what would happen is that they miss their payment for the month of April, May, and June. So for the month of June, they would pay up the money for June, that was $13, plus the money from April and May that they missed. But the news that I got instead was that they were going to be paying up $1,300. So I was like, okay, you know what? I don't like it, but it's better than nothing. So basically, my plan then, no blowing. My plan then was that we would receive the money for the month of June, and then we would receive the money for the month of July. So if things went a bit differently, I would not have had a computer until the month of July. But then Friday came, and so did the deposit. So this was on the Friday, by the way. This was the same Friday. So basically, so in the month of June, she went to the security office. This was on a Tuesday, and then it was on the Friday, the same week, that Social Security, or we got the message that Social Security was going to be paying up the money. Oh wait, no, I'm stupid. No, it was Tuesday we got the message, and it was Friday that they actually paid up the money, and it was quite a lot more than I expected, because not only did they pay the $1,300 for June, but they also paid up a bit extra. They paid up the money, basically the money for the month of May as well. They basically skipped June. Okay, short thing break. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I am back. Russell, you still here? Russell? I didn't tell you to leave the call, stupid. Yes, Russell is an idiot. Anyway, welcome to Brony Eats Dinner on live stream. Alright, whatever. How about a train? Ah, there is a train, okay. Okay, well, no, just wait around here for a bit. I mean, I am pretty much at the end of the story now. So basically, Social Security paid up $2,600 on that Friday, and we were able to buy this computer. Wait, there's two trains coming at once. Oh. Yeah, welcome to South Station. It can be quite busy. There's another train about to leave for that. Yeah. Well, if Rose was here, I would have him entertain. Surprised nobody showed up today. Ah, here he goes. Wi-Fi codes. Oh, and via rail codes. Also likes via rail. We're halfway done, don't worry. Another train coming. No, okay. Yeah, you could sit here for like hours watching the trains going to the station here in Boston. Ah, here he is. Come to a stop for some reason. I wonder why. That's what he's waiting for. There he goes.
Well, it's 20 to 1 on my time, so I'm gonna have to leave now.
Oh.
Yeah, so if Ross Level returns, have fun with him. And if not, have fun with the stream alone.
Yay.
Bye.
I might as well exit the Discord call. Okay, it's no more Andrew, unfortunately. Oh well. To be fair, the stream is going on for quite a while now. I mean, it was gonna be 2 hours long anyways, but yeah, the dinner thing kind of sabotaged the stream, so I do apologize for that. I actually want to finish the stream before Andrew left, but yeah, it didn't happen. So. Yeah, I do apologize if the stream is a bit of a mess. It's just, yeah. Oh, and regional train. Next, I haven't actually talked about the thing that I don't like about the DLC. Well, for one thing, yeah, the couple scenery I can see, but another thing is the lack of certain rolling stock. There's no double deckers. There's no HSP 46 for MBTA. And the biggest crime of them all, no Wasilla Express. Which is even worse. This is one of the because this line, or the line between South Attleboro and Sharon, is the one line, no, one of 3 parts in all these corridor where the Wasilla can do 150 miles an hour. It is a sin. Now, they just took the A64 from Train Sim World 1, didn't improve it, and then they made the F40 and the MBB coach for MBT, and that's it. I also don't know why they went with the MBB coach of all things. Like, those aren't even that common on MBTA. Actually, they're even less common now because a lot of the MBB coach the MBTA owns are actually currently on lease with CT Rail. So seeing a full coach, a full MBB coach train like you've been seeing today, I'm not even sure if they exist anymore. I mean, you'll see the occasional MBB cab car and the occasional MBB non-power coach move a train, but a full rig of MBB coaches? No. Not in a million years. Alright, so I think what we'll do is I'll finish up my present bit, or the new perspective story of this. There's not much of a new perspective like it. This train's about to leave, yay. Then I'll about the A64, talk about the future for a bit, and that'll be it. Maybe here at South Attleboro. South Station isn't a bad thing because you guys get to see, kind of a glimpse of this thing, this game. So here is the Lakeshore Limited, which is, I know how long this looks, but You know what they could have done was like make a route or something, an Amtrak route with like a P42, so it can at least be accurate. Nah, they use AC-64s. So that's all they have. I'm not even sure why they bothered to put the Lakeshore Limited in the game, because the problem is with it, with the Lakeshore Limited or with the Transfer Lakeshore Limited, is that it's not even. It's no. It's no. But then the bigger thing, that the thing only runs like a small portion of this route between South Station and Back Bay. That's it. In real life, you have P42s, Amfleet 2 coaches, these are Amfleet 1s, and sleepers, and a baggage car. So there's a lot of stuff missing. Okay, so I'll take a second, and while I take the second, oh, that's the 2 trains arriving here at the same time. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, well, I'm back in the game. Decided to flicker anyways. Not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. This game seems to flicker every single time I click off it or something. I don't know why that is. Yeah, Northeast Regional. Is that a train? I hear an F40. Alright, now since I've sat here for so long, I'm just going to jump in the A64 and I'll finish the end of Nuga Pusaka, and then I'll talk about the future of this computer. So I'll do the regular paint scheme. And we'll do the one that leaves at province to where's Boston to... Oh, I already did that one. Oh. There's really none that like go... That is a weird schedule. Boston to... Okay, you know what? Is there actually one that... Alright, we'll do this one. It's late in the... It's a lot later in time than where we're actually... It's no close to real life time, but... We just do this. So yeah, no more Andrea. Sorry, I was trying to finish this live before Andrea left, but... I guess it came a little bit too late. Oh well, it's a try. Alright, ACS-64. Also, let's see if I remember how to drive this thing, by the way, because Because last time I tried to do this the other day, it's like I totally forgot. As is a sausage! Oh, there's a lot of oh, yeah. Welcome to Rush Hour. Alright, Northeast Regional. So this time's really just been me just telling a bunch of stories and stuff. I didn't intend to take this long, but I ramble a lot, so. Alright, let's see if we can drive. Yes! Good. Figure that out real quick. Wow, look at those evening reflections. Alright, so that we're on the road again, and I'm not eating dinner anymore, I shall now finish the story. So we come to the Friday in April. Friday in June. This comes after the Tuesday where we got the news that they were going to be restoring the Social Security thing. Also, one other thing, this was, okay, to help you out a bit better, this was the same week that the Train Simulator 2 video, the first Trains 2 video released. The one with the Return of Trains 2, that video. So on that Friday, they deposited $2,600, which would shorten the wait by a whole month. Because my original expectation was that I was going to have to wait all the way until July, because then I would have enough money. But no, Social Security decided to just deposit $2,600 right off the bat in the same month, rather than wait until, you know, the next month to deposit the next thing. So, that shortened the wait up by a lot. Basically, because, you know, my original plan, like I said, was to wait until the month of June would arrive. Or month of July. I'm so glad that we did have to wait until then, because I didn't know what I was going to do between when I found out about it to, like, you know, sausages. So, hello, train. So, yeah. I didn't have to wait all the way until July. And the new computer cycle was pretty much over from there. Like, as soon as they deposited the $2,600, it was basically over, because... so this was a $4,000 computer. And, basically, the money that I used to spend this was the $2,600 that they deposited on that Friday, plus the $1,800 I had before that. So that $18 came from the deposit from the month of March and the leftovers from February. So basically all the money that I didn't spend in February. And all added up so I would have just enough money to purchase the computer in full. Yes, sir. So once the money deposited, we went to the bank, transferred the money. So this way all the money would be on one credit card, because that was the only way we were going to be able to buy the computer in full, of course. And that same Friday, we bought the computer. That's train's powering up. And originally, I thought the computer would take like a couple weeks to arrive, but even the computer itself came a lot sooner than expected. So I bought the computer on Friday. I got the message on Monday that the computer was on its way, and it arrived on that Wednesday. And actually, I did go a bit more deeper into that in the Train of ATS 2 video that I uploaded last week. That video. I'll say this train has a silent brake thing, so I don't have to go outside. So, yeah. So I bought the money, the computer arrived, and the rest is history. So just to go into a bit more detail of what happened. So, I mean, well, actually, it's not that... Actually, it's not really much to tell, actually. I just pretty much just went over the whole thing. My braking keys just inverted themselves. Oh, I'm stupid. I thought my brake keys inverted itself. I'm stupid. Anyway, so yeah, so we bought the computer on Friday. Actually, I'm pretty much, that's pretty much the whole story. So I bought the computer on Friday, waited through the weekend, got the message that it was gonna be arriving on Wednesday. Now, found out the arrival part reached that the computer was gonna arrive on Tuesday, but it got pushed back to Wednesday, which at that point I was like, fine, at least I don't have to wait till July. So that was nice. So, next thing is, I tell you what, that Wednesday, so the computer was gonna arrive on that Wednesday, and then I spent that Tuesday making the Train of ATS2 video. That was the rush one that I uploaded last week. You know, it's just, that Wednesday though, like the following day after I record, like basically on that day that Train of ATS2 video went uploaded, the day following that, or the day on that, okay, the day that I was waiting for my computer to officially deliver, like the official day that the computer was supposed to arrive was a very interesting day indeed. Because just waiting for the thing to arrive was like, it's so stressful. And the computer arrived, we set it up, and yeah, the rest is history. And we come to now. So that was the entire new computer saga. I know that took quite a lot more talking than I initially... Well, that's just me, okay? These things take a lot more time to talk about than I initially anticipate sometimes. But that's pretty much the new computer saga in its entirety, from start to finish. I know that took quite a lot more storytelling than I thought, but hey. But yeah, I just figured that would just get the story out there just to let the world know that, yeah, I went through quite an ordeal. So, that is the entire story of the new computer saga. It pretty much ended on the day that we got the money to buy the computer, but it officially came to an end on the day that my new computer actually arrived. And yeah, what's even better is I didn't even have to like set up for like a less computer or whatever. I got a computer that is like super beefy. So that was cool. So, I guess now it's finally time to talk about the future. I know I'm doing so much rambling here. Just bear with me. Okay, this is a big deal. So it's time to talk about the future then. What are my future plans with this computer? What do I plan to do with it? Where am I going with this computer? Well, my whole plan in the first place was to just get a stopgap computer, because originally I wanted to get like the ultimate computer, like the computer that I was going to have for a long time. But then when the things happened, I kind of decided to just say, okay, well, maybe we'll have to get a stopgap computer instead then. Nope, I got the real deal. A computer that I will have for a very long time. And this particular computer is going to be around for a very long time. This isn't something that I'm going to use for a few years and then replace with something else. No, this computer is going to be a long-term thing. I have so many plans for this thing, so many things I'm going to do. There's a lot that's going to happen. Like this is just the beginning. This is only the start of my journey with this computer. You know, this computer is going to allow me to make better videos, play games, do better stream as well, like this, like I'm doing right now. Stream better, with fewer problems. There we go. I admit this live stream is a bit of a problem, but it's my first one on my new computer, so bear with me. That's really not a lot I can do. I mean, well, really, it's just going to require a bunch of testing and stuff, so yeah. So streaming, recording, all that stuff. I still need to test all that out, but the cool thing is I can at least play video games and do things without limitation. Like, for such a long time, I would have put up with the limits of the computer that I was using. But now, I don't have to do that anymore. No more limitations. No more putting up with anything. Just playing games and creating content to my heart's content. That's the coolest thing. No more need to cut corners. No more need to bang. As a train. As approaching Forest Hills. It's actually good to fly by this thing. Or try to. Sounds on the amplifiers aren't so bad either. So, there isn't actually much of the future I really can talk about right now because the future, I mean, it's a future. It's just a bit of an open-ended future. Like, there's not much where I can say right now. I guess as far as projects, well, I'm going to talk about this in more detail in another video, but the annual season and Bill and Ted, I'll be able to get back to work on those very soon. And yeah, better stuff is coming now. Wow, that was quick. Yeah, not much of the future I can really talk about, I'll be honest. Oh yeah, more live streams as well. More live streams will be happening more frequently as well. Other than that, it's pretty open-ended right now, actually. I'm just happy to have this thing. Saying nobody showed up today, like, wow, no viewers to stream at all. Like, not even my new computer's apparently a special enough occasion for people to show up. Yeah. I don't know. Hello, Reedville. Okay, getting the brakes. So I'm approaching Route 128. Alright, so I promise you this live stream will end as soon as we get to Providence. Yeah. And, yeah, I, might need to consider doing something about, like, the dinner situation. Because the thing is, right, is that my mom goes to work, and then she comes home right, like, while I'm streaming, so... I may have to do some streams on, like, days when she's not at work, because then, you know... So, yeah. So, first live stream on my new computer. A lot of beta testing stuff. Also quite hot in here. I do have an air conditioner, except if I had to turn it on right now, it would be very noisy. One more thing though, what's hap? Oh, what's that with my performance stuff? Yeah, CPU's running at 40%, GPU's running at 32%, memory's running at 13%, or 13 gigabytes out of 32 gigabytes of RAM. So even though I'm streaming right now, my computer isn't even running at halfway. Well, good. That was kind of the point. I'll continue playing to the screen's flickering. I have to run Train Sim World in full screen mode because for some reason if I don't, it just comes across as blur in OBS. I don't know. I don't know how to fix that. Train Sim World, it's such a game. It is such a game. Accent off the HUD. Where it is, our ASS64, and oh boy, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? Also, I tell you what, at night the evening effects look really good. This is, by the way, this is my first time playing this game on the evening effects on my new computer, and man, just it's honestly so good. Wow, almost looks like real life. Except it's a video game. Alright. Off to Providence. So this stream will run right about 7:30, so this thing will be 2.5 hours long, which, yeah. Can I go full power? Yes. Also, those sounds when it powers up are so realistic. I actually did drive the ASS64 back in Train Sim World 1, or Train Sim World 2020, on the Northeast Corridor New York route. The sound work on that one was just so bad. But Dovetail actually bothered to update the sounds and the physics to make it good. So, yeah, this A64 sounds really good actually. So, I have managed to run out of things to talk about. So, yeah, I felt if I had Andre and Russell in the call, they didn't really add anything to the stream, so. But I figured I would just include them just for the fun of it. Oh well. Oh yeah, next Roblox live stream. I won't say soon, but it will be happening. Also, I love how crispy everything is now. I'm so used to playing this game on like a lesser computer, and everything just doesn't look that good. Now I'm playing on max graphics settings, and it's just flawless. Just wish I remembered to reinstall the Shiny Amphicoach mod. But whatever. Because these coats by default, I mean, they don't look that bad. It's just, the thing is that just the shine, it just isn't there. There's a mod though that makes that look a lot better, which I forgot to reinstall because I'm stupid. Doesn't this look cool? You know, the part that triggers me. I'm not sure if I talked about this on the channel at some point or not, but Amtrak has plans to already replace these ACS-64s with the ALC 42E locomotives things, which is basically an electric version of the ALC 42. And the fact that they're doing it so soon is just ridiculous. Like, these ACS-64s, they're not even that old. In fact, I wouldn't even call them old at all. They came into service in 2014, which makes them 8 years old. And for some reason, there's an Amtrak train right behind an MBTA train. Don't think that's supposed to happen like that. But yeah, I don't know why. The A64 is not that. Actually, they're pretty recent. I might have said this came to service in 2014, so that makes them. I mean, that makes them 8 years of service. I mean, it's older than that as well. I mean, the first A64 entered testing in 2013. So. I mean, these things, really, I think they came to development like 2012 or something, so. But technically, if you want to go by 2013, when the first one began testing, these ACS-64s are almost as old as my YouTube channel, which isn't very old by railway standards. So to hear that Amtrak is already considering replacing them for something that's really isn't that much better, it's just insane. I don't get why don't they just use because their whole plan is that they want to replace these Amfleet coaches with the Siemens Venture coaches. That makes sense because while the A64s are quite new, the Amfleet coaches have been around for I don't know 50 years, almost as long as Amtrak themselves. So it makes sense to replace them with the Venture coaches because those are a lot better. But you don't even need to replace the locomotive. The A64 worked just fine with the Venture coaches. Why do you need to replace them? Makes no sense. It's just so baffling. Now, I don't know if they're actually going to go through with that. It has yet to be seen, but if they do, why? What is the point? Yeah. And here we go 150 miles per hour, but we can't actually reach that speed because we're not in the Solid Express. And this would have been a great opportunity to add the Solid Express into the game, but Dovetail are stupid. But that is a known fact. Is that a traffic jam? And the camera just barely outruns the train. random boxcars. One detail though that I do at least like is that they took the stock and stuff from the Sandpats grade and they put it in random places along the route. That is realistic, by the way. You ride on this route in real life, you will occasionally see random rolling stock just sitting around. That is realistic, and I like that detail. As I'm burping. I guess another thing we're talking about is like this Rush Hour pack as a whole, because as we know, this route, Northeast Corridor from Boston Sprinter, it's called, is part of a 3-pack of routes which is supposed to be themed around Rush Hour. So this route, along with the Navigate Dresden and the London Brighton, or London Commuter as it's called, London Commuter is probably the best route there is on Train Sim World. Like, the best overall. Of course, I'm also a huge fan of like this route, Boston Sprinter, and that of course comes down to location bias because, you know, actually once we get to Providence, we will literally only be like 3 miles away, or around that, from where I'm doing this live stream from right now. It's just, I just love the fact that finally my home route is in a train simulator of any kind, because there is the, I mean, technically there, okay, here's something funny, right? I also got Microsoft Train Simulator, by the way, funnily enough, or aka Open Rails. There is a Northeast Corridor from Providence to Boston, and that, it's the worst thing ever. Oh my goodness, it's so bad. And then for Railworks or Train Simulator Classic, there's the New Haven to Boston route, which is, ironically enough, someone actually went and did the scenery from Boston to Providence, so I mean, technically that exists. But on the whole, this route that I'm driving on right now, Train Sim World 2, is the best representation of this route that there is. So, if you're me and you really want to drive the Northeast Corridor from Boston to Providence, this is your best bet right here. And to be honest, even this has room for improvement. As I discussed, the scenery in some areas doesn't look that good, and there's missing rolling stock that is crucial to this route. Like, I don't know why, but for some reason there's no Asola, and there's no other MBTA stock. I mean, you get the MBTA, I mean, you get an MBTA train, get the F40 and the MBB coach, but it's not enough. They really also should have added on the HP 46 or 36, whatever it's called, the double-decker cars, anyway, the Kawasaki's or the Hyundai Rodams. And even if you want to make like a 1% realistic, like 1% believable MBTA concepts, you could have also done like those other, the other single deckers, like the ones built by Kawasaki or something. That one. I don't know, it's just, this route, it's like, it's cool that it's here, but it's still incomplete. I just really wish we had those other trains I just listed. And those are the only ones left in there anyway. Alright, you have the S64 and the Amphiletes. Okay. And you have at least an MBTA train. And I feel like the HP46 is a crucial one to add, because you can at least get away with not having the GB40MC, because I don't think those are barely around anymore. And ironically enough, Train Sim World does have the MPI MP36, whatever it's called, the Caltrain, the Baby Bullet one, the Caltrain Baby Bullet. They have that one, but you can at least somewhat get away with that one because, well, because MBTA does have that locomotive, but they only own 2 of them. Like, there are only 2 of those locomotives on the entirety of MBTA's fleet. Now, oddly enough, if things went a bit differently, MBTA would have a lot more of those, but the MBTA decided instead that rather than buy a fleet of those MPI, of the MPI, Instead of buying a fleet of the thingy locomotives, they instead bought a fleet of a brand new locomotive that is exclusive to the MBT. Because one other thing that I find interesting is that MPI, whatever it's called, that baby bullet locomotive, there's a number of commuter railroads in the United States. Also, I think we're supposed to go this fast through here. There is a number of commuter railroads in the United States that has a locomotive. Whereas the HSP-36 that MBTA runs is a locomotive that is exclusive to MBTA. You will not find a locomotive anywhere else. It is an MBTA exclusive. Which I don't really understand why. But, whatever, I suppose. But yeah, and by the way, I do like how Dovetail did at least bother to include the F-40. I think at this point, the HSP-46, or 36, whatever it's called, is more common. Like, you are more likely to see that than an F-40. I think out of all of the different locomotives on MBTA's fleet, the HSP-46, or whatever it's called, is the locomotive that you are most likely to see. Like, you hang around, you hang around anywhere on MBTA's network of routes, you don't have to wait very long to see an HB 46, 36, whatever it's called. I don't remember. And the fact that Dovetail didn't put that in the game is stupid. But this is Dovetail. They've had a long history of not including certain trains in their routes. There's only one of a million examples of Dovetail not including certain trains in their route. A BJ train. Also, I've only seen like the Wi-Fi coach and the Bay Rail coach. I thought I had a lot more. I do have a lot more that I made, but for some reason, well, to be fair, it's because this is still a pretty new install of the game, and I haven't quite transferred over everything. All I have is like the DLC and stuff like that, like other third-party mod stuff. I still have to transfer all that stuff over. So yeah, probably should. I really should have done that before I started this live stream, but I don't know. I do things sometimes that are a bit weird. So yeah. Alright, well, here we are into the slow section of this corridor. Alright, once we get to Province, that'll be the conclusion of the live stream. So we're at 70. Also, as for live streaming, I'm gonna have to do some things to try to figure this out a bit more, because this current format that I have, I mean, it works, but it's kind of bothersome, so I'm gonna have to make some changes. Well, actually, say make some changes, I'm gonna have to try to go back to the old way of how I used to with my TV stream. Which, I'm not sure I'm gonna do that. I don't know, I'll figure it out. We'll see. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of glad I chose an evening one, because, man, this game actually looks quite good in an evening setting. Especially on max graphics. Actually, in general, I don't think I've ever actually, like, played this game, like, at sunset. It's always either been, like, in broad daylight or pitch black nighttime. We're going down soon. Didn't mean to beep the horn. Also, I am definitely curious to go back and watch stream back and just see like what happened, because I'm still not sure like how blurry or how clear it is. I need to see like how it turned out as a replay. I would view it on my iPad, but a problem is that I'm using my iPad as a secondary monitor right now. So the best bet I had is my phone, and I'm not sure if my phone like compresses it or something, or compresses like upscales it or something. I don't know. I gotta check it out for myself. Also, I got the brakes way too late. I knew this curve was coming, but I still got on the brakes way too late. Well done, me. Alright, come on, train. There we go. Alright, welcome back to Providence. And, of course, there's a red right at the track. Is that supposed to be on track 4? I don't know. Alright, welcome back to Providence. Okay, let's get on the brakes. I hate how there's a red light at the end of every single plot. Okay, thankfully this one's actually in view. And here we are. Ah, those ghosts look so dull underneath the thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I was going to do it, install the mod, but I just forgot. Also, all the front of the train is just like totally pitch black. Okay, let's just look at the locomotive. Amtrak. This is indeed an Amtrak train. Oh, it's 6:13. Oh, that's perfect. 6:13. Now that is a very well. Okay, particularly this part. This is the best part. This is like, yeah. Like the the game decided randomly select number 6:13 because I am Frony13, and this is my first live stream on my new computer. And that's it. So that was my first ever live stream on my brand new computer. Kind of a shame that nobody showed up today. I can't believe it. Nobody at all. So not even one of my viewers. Not even one person showed up. That's, I don't know. Maybe I just have to I don't know. Well, whatever. There's only the first of many live streams to come. Let's see how the next one does. But yeah. So that is it. That is my brand new computer in its full glory. And yeah. This is only the beginning, though. A lot of things are going to happen with this computer, and I cannot wait for the journey to see where this journey goes. This is only the beginning, and yeah. But that is it for this live stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Next live stream will be happening hopefully soon, and I will see you in whatever I make next.